I'm Sarah, and do you want to know a fun fact about animation? No? Too bad. I'm going to tell you anyway. Animation requires you to learn stuff. Wow. If I haven't crushed your dreams already, how about I tell you some of the principles you should know if you want to be an animator? Also, these are only a few principles. I would recommend you do some research on this. The first principle is squash and stretch. This is when an animation gets long and then gets a bit squashed. Squash and stretch can change how hard or soft an object is. An example of squash and stretch is when we bounce a water balloon. A water balloon might look a bit squished when it hits the ground. It will then stretch a bit and become its normal shape, but a tennis ball will not squash or stretch because it is a harder object. Our next principle is anticipation. Anticipation is very important in order to make an animation realistic or at least make sense. An example would be a jump. Before we jump, we might bend our knees a bit in order to jump higher. If a character randomly launches into the air, the viewer might get confused, so keep this principle in mind. Arcs are very important. A lot of movement can be made easier to animate using arcs. An arc is a semicircle or a bridge sort of shape and is very useful in the world of animation. An example can be when we wave our hand. Our hand moves in an arc type of motion. Staging keeps focus, and focus can help others understand. Staging means to keep the attention on certain things at a time. This means showing the right characters or props at the right time. The right time to show a character or prop is when we want the attention to be on that certain thing. So to help keep focus, you also have to zoom in and zoom out when it seems necessary. And to keep attention on the thing, you might also have to blur out or keep unimportant props or characters in the background. These principles are important in animation. Of course, you can't just learn everything from one video, so doing more research would be a good idea. I hope you learned something new. Which principle do you think is the most important and why? Thank you for watching. Goodbye.